going nuts.
The president has a big stick. We choose truth over facts.
Shake my shake. Let's do push-ups together, man. Let's run. Let's do whatever you want to do.
And she come out her apartment with her baby with no shoes on. I said, oh, girl, it's cold outside. She said, something ain't right. I said, oh, man. She said, oh, man, the building is on fire.
We did it, Joe. You're going to be the next president of the United States.
You've called women you don't like fat pigs, dogs, slobs, and disgusting animals.
Starting to record.
Your Twitter account.
Only Rosie O'Donnell.
All right. Hey, welcome to Unsolicited Opinions with Ted Davis.
Matt Maturen.
All right. He's on the southern lower part of the United States, and I'm on the northern part of the United States, and we're coming to you live. Well, almost live. Pre-recorded.
Wow. Probably needs some serious editing sometimes.
It probably will be, but anyway, so Matt and I come up with the idea that we'd like to have a podcast to where we talk about everything, anything, and whatever's on our mind. And lately, it hasn't been Bigfoot or the Titanic sinking that we were thinking about. It's more politics lately, which there's a lot to talk about right now, isn't there?
There is quite a bit to talk about.
I mean, it's
that Dunham report that just came out is troubling. However, it's not a smoking gun at this point. I think it needs to be explored a little bit more by some of our members of the House and maybe Senate.
right. And what Matt's talking about is Donald Trump had appointed John Durham, a special counsel to the president when he was president, to do an investigation on, I don't know, on the dossier, the thing first. I think it was.
Yeah, there were a lot of talking points that it was mostly the Russia thing.
Conclusion, yep. And so it exploded from there, and it's gone down a rabbit hole that nobody could ever even imagine is as deep. And they're not even at the bottom of it yet, but it all got dropped here on Friday night or Saturday night. The report came out finally after 5-6 years.
Yeah, it was definitely a lot of hours and a lot of man time into it. The unfortunate part of it, the report, they tried to indict three different people, or charge three different people. Two of them were not convicted. Go figure, depending on, you're in a Washington courtroom. So, but then the third one actually admitted to his crime, and really kind of got a slap on the wrist anyway. But
right. And the sad thing is too about it. Well, first of all, the whole report vindicates President Trump. That there was he had no conclusion with Russia.
Well, it kind of goes on to the point that there should have never been an investigation at all.
Right.
It was paid for. A lot of the stuff was paid for. They steal the dossier, by Hillary Clinton apparently, and it pretty much dirty politics that our FBI and Department of Justice got sucked into, and rightfully so. They did it for a reason.
Yeah. Yep. Just basically to tarnish President Trump in any way, to slow him down with legal issues, and to get the mass amount of Americans, I would say that, to get the American people in whole to see that Donald Trump is a corrupt, crooked president.
Yeah, and he's basically proving everybody wrong right now anyway.
He's proving everybody wrong on everything, and every stone they threw at him, it's come up flat, nothing. And then they move on to the next one, and the next one, and the next one. The latest one with the girl, I don't want to call her by her name, but by that 70-year-old hoe, that Trump raped her in the closet at the wherever. what, 30 years ago, 25 years ago.
Well, they got him for what, battery or something, and also they got him for
Like slander or
slander, something of that nature. But
that's worth $5 million now.
well,
know?
that's a good payday, for not remembering what the hell was going on 25 years ago, because she couldn't tell you where she was,
No.
what month it was, what year it was, what day it was. It's kind of hard to defend yourself, because so he'll have a probably a nice little case to go on, when he decides to address that situation.
Right. And the thing is, he's going to appeal it and fight it back. Look what happened with Stormy Daniels. He pretty much washed her right under the rug. And these poor people, not poor people, but they're set up to attack Trump from each direction. And they're just a pawn, like Stormy.
Yeah, he's going to have a couple other, he's already got that case in New York right now with with DA Bragg, that he's so popular with all the criminals. So,
well, yeah, you become friends with them when you let them out. You let everybody out that's supposed to be doing their time, and it's terrible. I mean, it's just New York. God, I don't even know who would want to live there, who would even want to go visit there. It's Escape from New York City, Kurt Russell.
A little tidbit. We went, this had to be over 10, 11, 12 years ago that we went over there. We were in Philadelphia, and we just drove over to New York to check it out. We happened to park in the banking district. All these cars were parked there. We said, I found a spot, parked there. Walked around the city for a while. It was pretty cool. It was a hot day, and obviously during the day, so
right,
not a lot of issues, you would think. Went and seen the 9/11 memorial, and got back to the car, and the next thing you know, we got a $195 ticket, for parking where we shouldn't have, apparently, but they got $195 out of us. So
that's kind of like a tourist fee. Think of it that way. It's a tourist fee.
Yeah. Okay. I'm good with that. I mean, I seen $195 worth of stuff. So
yeah. Yeah, it's terrible, man. Especially with what's going on with all the illegal immigrants that DeSantis and Abbott, they're sending as fast as they come across the border. They're shipping them right out to these sanctuary cities. And you know what? I love it. They deserve it. They're the Democrats that pushed for a sanctuary city. They got what they wanted. Now they got to deal with it. And Chicago, what's her name? Lightfoot, Gordon, or not Gordon Lightfoot. God, sorry, Gordon. Rest in peace. But Fizzazzle Lightfoot, she's pleading, no more immigrants. We can't handle any more immigrants.
Well, I think as of Monday, she was out anyway over there in Chicago. But I mean, some of these sanctuary cities should handle the burden of this problem that Biden administration has created for the southern border towns.
Yeah, the open borders. Yeah, well, the thing is, okay, since you're a sanctuary city, wouldn't you start planning ahead? Like, I don't know when they became sanctuary cities. Maybe, it was when Trump was in office. Like Portland and out west. I think all of California is a sanctuary state. But you would think, okay, well, let's start building places for anybody that comes and wants to stay. Let's start putting them up, and let's have a plan. No plan, nothing's set in place. And here, the sanctuary cities are getting the immigrants that they want, and they will give them their peace of mind and a safe place to sleep. But it's costing our veterans their homes, or their government-funded hotel rooms, because they're knocking all them guys right out of the hotel rooms, and they're letting the illegal immigrants take their place. Shows you where our priorities are.
Well, I think, when it came out, sanctuary city meant where somebody that was in trouble or wasn't necessarily a pillar of the community could hide.
Yeah, basically.
I don't think it was based on at the particular time illegal immigrants, coming through the southern border.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
It might have been, people coming off the boat, that were seeking asylum, particularly that way.
Or who were already here illegally
Correct.
for 5-10 years, and Trump's going to go in and start cleaning them people out. And
Yeah, we're not gonna turn you over to our government for breaking our laws.
No, exactly. So it's terrible, man. Remember old Sheriff Joe out west there? That guy, man, that is the greatest sheriff in the world. The prisoners, he made them wear pink jumpsuits when they're out working on breaking up rocks alongside the road.
If
and
I
people
remember,
were bitching.
yeah, if I remember correctly, he used to paint the jail cells pink also because it was a calming. It's a calming color. It
Right.
calms, criminals down.
He got lambasted from every right or left wing media outlet and personality possible. They attacked him like, oh, it was unbelievable. And he held his own though.
I really think they should have gave him rabbit ears to wear with those little pink jumpsuits also.
Yeah, make him wear some pink thongs or something. But but back to New York. Now the latest, which came out last week, is okay. The hotel rooms are filling up, and you know who's paying for all of them rooms at the gold star price? Us. And I forget the price. I should have looked it up again to see what it is per night, but it's just freaking ridiculous. So, but now the hotels are filling up with immigrants. So let's think, where would be a good place to put them next? Maybe like the local civic center, the arenas or something, or abandoned buildings, something. No, let's put them in a high school gymnasium while school's in session.
That's not not very smart
No.
from a standpoint of trying to protect our kids.
Right.
Of course, they've been, the government's, failed at protecting our kids now probably for the last 3 years. Through shutting our schools down with COVID to, letting them, explore being trans in school and
Right.
all kinds of, they can, have
crap.
drag queens come in and read to them. It just, it's pathetic how we're not teaching our kids just to read, write, do arithmetic, science,
maybe get an education.
Right. I don't have a problem with them, challenging to think about on their own, but I think they should be thinking about the topics that I just talked about.
Yeah, we're getting away from it because it's the teachers, and there's not all the teachers. It's just like, there's one bad apple in the bushel. Well, I think in the case of the teachers nowadays, it's about half of that bushel's rotten. You got a good, the ones that are out there, the good teachers, and they're doing an honest, trying to teach these kids because they love them and this and that. Then you got the other half of the bushel that they're trying to indoctrinate these kids into different kind of beliefs that are just totally immoral. I mean, totally immoral.
Stuff they learned in college when they went and got, messed with in the head. And
yep. And that's what they were taught. And that's how they were pushed by their professors. A bunch of liberal quacks is what they are. Don't hurt their feelings. Look out. But,
well, get them a puppy. They'll be all set.
Yeah. Well, we probably could buy them one. I'd give them a government-funded puppy, and the puppy probably be about $10,000.
It comes with the phone.
Right, the phone and free Wi-Fi when you get your apartment or your hotel room. It's just disgusting. I mean, it makes me sick to see the stuff that's going on. And I could sit back and say, well, this is our generation, and our parents thought the same thing about our generation. Like, oh, I can't believe the kids are listening to the radio so loud in the car when they go by. This has nothing to do with that. This shit that's happening nowadays it's immoral. It's beyond any kind of belief in moral. I mean, it's wrong in all aspects. It's wrong.
The thing I kind of chuckle at is, my dad, when I was growing up, probably thought, man, this kid's got the worst work ethic ever. And
Oh, yeah.
I didn't really, and but I look at the kids today and their work ethic, it just
Right.
floors me. We've had guys come in, when I was working that what do you mean? I got to be here 8 hours a day? I got to be here 40 hours every day this week, 5 days a week,
Right.
40 hours. Are you kidding me? I can't do that.
No.
It's pathetic.
And I got to turn my phone off during work. This job's not for me.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. This job's not for me. There's a great YouTube. There's a great video out. It's on YouTube. It's been a meme going around about the young girl that goes in for some job and she's talking to an older guy, like probably younger than us, older guy, and everything. She's just she's the new generation, and she's like, "Well, how about I show up at 10?" He's like, "Well, no, the job starts at 8." She goes, "Well, I don't get up till like 9:30, and it takes me a while to get ready, and blah blah blah." So she goes, "I can start at 10." I was like, and that's the way the kids think.
Yeah.
I'll find that video and I'll post it on one of our next our podcasts because it's just classic. But I tell you, it's just gotten stupid. It's everybody that's in my realm of my world says this is how can they even let this happen? But then there's other people, it's all right, they can do that. I don't want to hurt their feelings and get my kid upset.
Apparently one of the holdups on this debt ceiling issue with President Biden and Speaker McCarthy is the holdup. One of them is putting things on able-bodied people having to work, going out and for their benefits, having to show something,
right?
And it just and they're sticking, and Biden said, we're not going to mess with anything, that people that are disabled. Well, that's not where it's landing. I mean, if
No.
The Republicans said able-bodied people,
right?
So
which is about half the country that's on disability or on welfare or whatever, that they're able bodies, but no, why would you want to even go out and attempt to work when you're getting a paycheck from the government every month for $900 or whatever?
These government programs were a safety net, not a way of life.
Right. I have some friends very close to me, friends that back in the day, they had to go on welfare or federal assistance, and they used it. They used it for a year or so until they got back on their feet. And then now one example of the person I know, she ended up going to college after she got off the assistance, got assistance to go to college, which she has to pay back. And hopefully we don't have to pay back, but she got her feet back on the ground, got married, had a couple kids, has a nice job. That's what social or welfare and stuff was for, to help you through tough times.
Absolutely.
Well, it's a generational thing now.
I mean, you're able to, the money you make, and everybody, the stigma is always the African American community, abuses it. Well, they're not the only ones that abuse it.
No.
It doesn't matter what color you are or what background you have. There's people out there that decide, I'm going to have, 7 or 8 kids, that way I can get government assistance for all these kids.
Yep.
And they abuse it. They never thought of it. And it has a lot to do with, the father figures too. They're not involved with that either.
No. And I forgot what the percentage was with, like, just let's say the African American families, where there's a fatherless home. It was like 80%. I mean, don't quote me, but it was a high number like that. And I think, I don't know. I don't know where the Caucasians fall into it and the Mexicans and that, but it just seems like the African American folks learned to play the game way before anybody else did by having the kids and getting the money for the kids. Well, then pretty soon the other races, I guess, started jumping in on it, in the 70s and the 80s, and then by the 90s and 2000s, now they're all in on it and they know how it works. And then it's our money is just saying, here, have more kids, we'll send you more money, and then grandma will watch your kids while you go out and party.
Yeah, well, you don't have to be you know you don't necessarily have to be in the home from a father's standpoint. As long as you're
in their life.
involved with your child's life. I mean,
Yeah.
but a lot of them aren't. There's a lot of dads that aren't involved with it.
Yeah, true. Good point.
I mean, because not everybody gets along, and you make mistakes and what have you, and
Mhm.
people aren't compatible, and it's not good and not healthy for either party. Sometimes not very good, healthy for the kids
Right.
either. So I mean, as long as you're involved in your kid's life,
Right.
there's a lot of people out there that are involved in their kid's life that don't live together, but they tolerate their ex for for the kid's sake.
Yeah, good point. Yep, you're right. And I know people like that, friends that
Mhm.
are like that. It's a single family home. Sometimes they're single because they're with their mother, and sometimes they're single family homes because they're with their father.
Right.
And I give the dads kudos and the mothers too. There's a lot of women that run out on their kids and leave it up to a guy to run the whole show. So I give kudos to the ones that try to make it work as two people raising their kids.
Oh yeah.
But man, there's a lot of people that don't.
There's a lot of people that just check out,
Yeah.
and are not involved any way, any shape, any form. They they don't even take care of them financially.
Right. Right.
And
We were watching Judge Judy the one night, Kathy and I, and there's a girl, good looking little gal, and she's talking, not married, this and that, and she's suing her former boyfriend for a loan, whatever, a gift, a loan. And well, Judge Judy's like, well, how many children do you have? And this, honestly, God, Matt, this girl looked like she was 29, 28, somewhere in there. She goes, I got 7 kids. And Judge Judy goes, boy, you've been busy. And I was like, whoa, turn the volume up, Kathy. This is going to be a good one. And so it keeps going on and on. She goes, okay, so how many kids do you have with this guy? And she's like, she had to look up and she's thinking for a second. She's thinking. She goes,
yeah.
4. And then the guy goes, we only got 3. Three, Joshua, John. And I was like, oh my God. I love watching Judge Judy, man. She puts it the way it is, especially the old reruns. But that's the way it is. Pump them babies out.
Yeah. Did you happen to catch any of the Biden press conferences today? One was they were giving the Medal of Valor, to some participants that were
God.
And and I listened to his speech, and it was just all slurred, all ran together, and I'm like, this guy is so incoherent.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pathetic. Luckily, when when the recipients came up, someone else kind of ran down a little bit of what they did,
right?
Earn this medal, which all definitely very deserving individuals.
Yeah.
Well, then the second one, he was talking about the debt ceiling before he was running off to what is it, Japan or something? In a couple days.
Yeah, you talking about Joe?
Yeah, Joe.
Joe's going to Alaska today, and then after that he's leaving tonight
for do some fishing.
Hiroshima. Pack some extra diapers and sippy bowls or whatever, sippy cups.
But I mean, he gave that, he was talking on that situation too, and it was the same thing. I mean, he's he talks and just everything's so incoherent again.
Yeah.
And they ask him questions on that, some softball questions, and he can't even answer them.
I love it. I only caught a couple minutes of it because I was in between making phone calls and scheduling appointments, and I had it on the TV. And the softball questions were great. Like, Joe, what do you plan on doing when you get over to Japan or something? Well, I'm going to get I'm going to meet him, and then meet. Well, we're going to get some work done. Is what we're going to do.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the? This is the president of the United States, and it's like, wow.
He probably stood at that podium for 3 questions too long.
Yeah. Well, on our Facebook group, Yellow Brick Road, on Facebook. Join if you'd like. Every morning, I try to every morning, I post Joe's schedule of what his day looks like. And I tell you what, that guy doesn't even start rolling out of bed till about 10. And then nothing happens. Maybe you'll have a briefing from somebody, which means they walk to the side of the bed and, Joe, today you're going to have to meet with so-and-so at 4 o'clock. Okay. Well, then it goes on. He doesn't really do anything all day. Makes a little speech here, a little speech here. Might fly out for about $1 million with all the airplanes and all the Secret Service to like some other state to talk to the union workers and then come back. Well, people had always put they put every president down for golfing too much. And Trump did golf a lot. But you know what? When we got the lowest golf meetings down at Mar-a-Lago, and when we had the greatest economy, lowest unemployment, lowest gas prices, our GDP, whatever, was the lowest ever. He can go golf as much as he wants, in my opinion. He can golf 4 days a week. It's working. Well, Joe doesn't golf because I don't think he understands the concept of it. But
can't ride his bike either.
Excuse me. And he can't go up and down stairs. But when I post this thing, his schedule every day, on Fridays, 4 o'clock, he's out of here, man. He's back to Delaware to the mansion for the weekend. And then there's nothing. There's nothing on the weekends from him. There's nothing scheduled Saturday and Sunday. Then on Monday mornings, you look at it. I'm like, oh, I wonder what time Joe's coming back to the White House today from the weekend. Oh, he's not even going to get into Washington until about 10:30. This is our president.
Well, he did say, well, I have to cut my trip short to over to Japan, and I'm like, what do you mean? You mean that's what a president does, because you got so much shit going on here that you aren't in control of. But he did say he's going to come back Sunday, and talk about the debt ceiling and give a press conference.
Yeah.
That ought to be interesting. Is all get up, Sunday.
That I'm going to watch. I'm going to watch that because
I'd bet it gets canceled.
Oh, you know what? I bet you're right too. Or what happens is he goes over to Japan. If one of the Joes goes over to Japan, does its job, the other real Joe probably gonna stay back in a studio, and they're gonna try to prepare for Sunday night everything he's gonna say so it looks good, and they have to re-edit it so much. It's like, okay, take 2, Joe. Let's try it again.
There'll probably be 5 things at the bottom of it that says, do not take questions. Do not take questions. Walk away from the podium and keep going.
Yeah. I don't even think they can. I think they just put sign language pictures now, like arrow pointing that way, because he ends up reading that shit at the bottom of the thing. Yes, it's like, now sit down. You weren't supposed to read that, Joe. It's actually just like watching the circus. I mean, it's you sit back and you laugh and you make fun of it, and everybody's passing the memes around. But in all reality, this is supposed to be our commander-in-chief of the United States of America and his administration, and they've done nothing but freaking embarrass us. And
I wouldn't be surprised if the Republicans should go after him and impeach him. And impeach him, because I think they've got a strong case, on about 2 or 3 things. He'll lie about his son's business dealings and being involved in it.
Right. Not knowing about them.
Yeah. The situation with Afghanistan, I mean, and the southern border. I mean,
right.
Those are just 3 easy things.
Yeah. The border you can't use because they say it's secure.
Well, I mean, that's tell the people down there at the southern border and ask them if they think it's secure.
Right.
But of course, now all these people are going to New York and they're making that city unsafe now too. So. Oh
yeah, exactly. So hey, it is what it is. What are we gonna do as just a regular American citizen?
Well, I'm glad. I'm what 50, almost 54 years old. So I mean, it's one of those things that. I think I got a lot of life to live. However, being involved with people and the government and all that stuff, I don't need to be involved in that too much anymore.
Right.
So But it's just comical listening to them.
Oh God.
It kind of irritates you sometimes the way the direction that our country's going into.
Yeah, it's kind of like going down, 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 down. Every aspect of it, every arm of it, everything to do with our country has gone down. The morale. I mean, a lot of people just say, "I don't care." Like some people I know, I don't care what happens to them guys, what they're doing. It doesn't affect me. I'm like, well, don't you ever go fill your truck up at the gas station and it costs you $140?
People always want to complain about this situation with mental health and stuff, and I'm not a lot of that mental health stuff started until all these drug companies started pushing these fictitious diseases and these drugs on kids that with the ADHD and all that stuff. And I mean it messed with their minds.
Yeah, well, look at the commercials that they put out. Do you suffer from depression? Are you tired in the morning? I mean, they put it out there to brainwash everybody, from stupid adults to the young kids. It's like, are you tired in the morning? Well, fuck yeah, everybody's tired in the morning.
Every day.
Do you have trouble getting out of bed? Yeah. Do you just not feel yourself until you've had your third cup of coffee? Well, you could be suffering from depression. That's what Zinnicor is for. It's like,
but kids are supposed to have a lot of energy. I mean,
if I ask my kid, are you tired in the morning? He'd be like, yeah. I go, okay. Well, then you probably suffer from depression, but they do that. They brainwash you with that over and over and over. And I know people who are perfectly fine, in my opinion, they're perfectly fine, but they suffer from depression. Today's a bad day. I suffer from depression. Might be hungover a little bit, but today I'm suffering from depression.
Well, I honestly think those drugs are a way for parents to be able to babysit their kids.
Yeah, exactly. They think they're helping them and say, here, take the pill, and it's going to make you better.
He runs around the house, jumps on their furniture, screams, and he's a kid. I mean,
right. He's a 6-year-old boy. What do you expect him to do? Yeah. But yet, instead, just dope him up, and he can sit there playing with blocks. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. The world's going to shit. Our country's going to shit right now in a handbag really fast. And until some of the Republicans in the House start stepping up and backing up the other Republicans to actually make a stand, I don't think anything's going to happen.
Well, I mean, where do you start, though? I mean, there's so many issues that needs to be tackled. And where do you start? I mean, if you start here, somebody's going to be pissing and moaning, well, you should have did this.
Yeah.
Well, hey, start something, finish it, be a done deal.
Yeah, exactly. And then, going off that topic a little bit, but kind of on it, and this next election coming up. Okay, man, I have so much footage that I saved that night, screen recorded it off or videoed it off the TV, screen recorded it off my phone. All this footage, which, oh man, that all together, that gave me probably 120 days in jail in a lump sum, not all at once, but broken up, put together. About 120 days in jail for posting a picture of the people doing the tablatures at the things at the arenas at voting night. Well, anyways, my fear is this next election, Trump's way up. His poll numbers are outrageous, and everybody knows he's going to win.
They got to make a call. Hey, how many votes do we need?
Exactly. So what's not to say that all this crap's going to happen again? What's been taking place? What's changed from the last election to this next coming election in 2024, what's changed? Why do we need the internet service connected to servers at the polling places?
Absolutely.
You don't need that. But I don't hear no talk about they're going to ban them. Mail drop boxes. We don't need them. COVID's over. Exactly. But you know what? They're going to be there. They're going to be there. So my fear is what's going to happen all again. I said, after that last election, we'll never, ever have another fair election in our lifetime. And I hope I'm wrong.
I don't disagree. I mean, I think there's a lot of potential to, but I mean, you look at what did he get? Over 80 million votes or whatever.
Yeah.
Biden did.
Jeez.
Hey, if he gets that this time, I want to meet some of these people. I mean, they must be out of their mind.
Well, you go to Roselawn Cemetery. And you go visit some of them there, and
Yep.
you know, I mean, that's where a lot of them come from. So I don't know. We'll have to get on that topic more about that with Joe Biden and all that, because it's just screwed up. I mean, it's the corruption. The corruption is so bad, you almost feel like it's irreparable. And if it is going to be repaired, it's not going to happen with Trump just getting in office for 4 years. It's got to take at least 8, 12 years for the tide to turn.
Yeah, that's why I think that you know, he needs to make you know, if he wins the election or whatever for the Republican Party,
right?
Trump does, I think he needs to make peace. I think he needs to make peace with DeSantis, and I think. Yeah, because I think he could be a very viable option after Trump's 4 years.
Yeah, definitely.
And but I think they need to come together. And I think what this country needs right now is Trump.
Yeah.
You can say all you want about DeSantis. He does a lot of good things for Florida.
Yeah, he does. The thing that scares a lot of people, though, is his donors, the people that are donating money to his campaign, a lot of money. A lot of them are deep swamp, like the Bushes and stuff. So that even scares me a little bit. He now he's been bought.
Well, yeah, but like I said, I think
maybe not.
Well, I think if he's able to put stuff aside, and this would be perfect. Now everybody says the Trump DeSantis ticket. Well, yeah. I think that would be good for our country, because because look at the polling numbers right now. You've got Trump polling higher than DeSantis. Okay. Right. But if Trump if Trump, can't, after 4 years, who's after him? DeSantis is the next in line.
Yep.
So
true.
It'd be really nice if, that we put our things aside, and they both put their things aside for the better country. But it's harder, harder to do than what they say, because you want to be president. You think you're better than the next guy.
Yep.
But Trump's been there. He knows what's going on. He knows the thing. And we all know now that there was never any Russia issues.
No. And we were crazy for talking about it, saying there is no conclusion. Oh, you people don't know what you're talking about. Well, now look, it comes out there was no conclusion. Okay, where's the apology to us? All of us that said there isn't.
I want the apologies from all these newspaper people and that went on nightly news and bragged about Trump's guilty as hell and
all the mainstream media
and that little shithead down over there in California.
Oh yeah.
What's his name?
I don't even like saying his name, but
not Schumer. It was the little weasel guy.
Pencil neck.
Anyway, most of you know who I'm talking about.
I know who you're talking about.
Either way, I mean that guy. They're calling for his head right now. That he should never be in office right now with the shit he pulled.
Yeah, exactly. But yet somehow he's still there. But you know what? They won't rally around him if he goes too far down his own team, and they'll let him just go off into the abyss and get eaten up.
But there'll never be any apologies from the news media, only because they were all given awards for this, and really this Dunham report really doesn't say much of anything, blah, blah, blah.
No, right.
We're right all the time, and I built my career around this, and I'm sticking to my story.
Yeah.
They'll never admit they got played, they got lied to, or they were part of the play-in. They were part of the problem.
And that is part of the problem, is their involvement in it. And the Durham report that just came out, it's 1,000 times more newsworthy and destructive to our country than Watergate ever was. And look what they did to Nixon. I mean, that guy, I think he was crying as he's walking out to the airplane to give his final goodbye, Wow. And this is, if we don't have both sides in participation from at least the Republican side, nothing's going to happen. It's too many rhinos.
Well,
the bread is buttered.
Yeah, the story that came out, with Biden and his corruption with his family and everything.
I don't know
but
nothing about that.
Comer went on national television with, some more of the Republicans to lay out, what they thought they had, this and that. Not one major network covered it.
No,
Not one. Not even a soundbite from it.
Nope.
I mean, that's
Not
just
one.
pathetic. Very pathetic from a journalism standpoint, from a nationally televised news entity that doesn't even say, hey, this is what we learned. This is what the Republicans said.
Yeah. And if there is a news media outlet, like say like Fox News, which they're dark deep swamp too, but they had Tucker, Hannity, the Five. Well, the thing is, those are the only ones those were the people that were giving them the ratings. So I've heard this so many times, you see it online, you talking to somebody that's against you, and you're like, Biden's horrible, he can't even talk, and they're like, you must go back to watching your Fox News. Go back to watching your Fox News. I'm like, really? Go back to watching CNN, where they've had to apologize on air like 5 times in the last 5 years. Actually had to apologize. All of that was false information yesterday. We have to clarify it. I'm like, just shut up. I mean, it's just But hey, let's get off that topic for now. I want to do a quick shout out to somebody, a group, and we can spend just a minute on this. I'm going to try maybe every episode you'll give a shout out to a certain group or person, and I'll give one, or whatever, vice versa. And I want to give a shout out to the Cruisers. It was a group of girls from Eisenhower High School and Heritage from many years ago. They were the Cruisers of Tara, Kim, Carrie, and Dina. And they solved crime throughout Saginaw Township and Saginaw County. One crime at a time. They solved them all. Remember the Cruisers?
I do. And I believe it's Carrie's birthday today.
Really? Oh.
I believe so.
I'm going to have to go check and wish her a happy birthday, because she was the short little cruiser. And but yeah, they'd get in one vehicle, and on a Friday night and a Saturday night, they would just go out fighting crime. And they're all still best friends. They all get together once a year or so when they can. And but I just want to give a shout out to the Cruisers, and hopefully some little way you guys are still fighting crime out there.
Right, absolutely.
You were a good group.
Well, I'm going to give a shout out to the makers of from Anheuser-Busch and Coors that handles Miller Lite now, because those two companies ironically are going to make me healthier.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because now I'm probably done drinking their brands of beer just because of their woke policies.
Yeah, I have.
So I got to give a shout out to them. Obviously, I'm in a better way to, for my demise. So
yeah,
good for them.
35 or 34 years of drinking Anheuser-Busch products, usually Busch Light for me. And after that, I was like, I'm done. And it's easy for me to do that. Just cut something off. I was a Springsteen fan for all my life, and until President Trump got elected in 2016. I mean, I've been to tons of Springsteen concerts. I got his autograph picture. I touched his foot at one concert when he was on the speaker, and I was the biggest fan. I did touch his foot too. And anyways, he comes out in front of like Sweden or somewhere, opening up overseas the night Trump got elected president, and he doesn't even have no fanfare at the opening of his show. He goes, "Today I come out and stand in front of you as an embarrassed American. He goes, "Did you see what happened in America last night?" And he went on a rant. And I said, "Fuck you, Bruce. You know what? Fuck you." And after that, I cut him off. I burned his shit. I had a bonfire. I videoed it. I can cut him off just like that. And you know what? I haven't listened to anything of his music since. Now, I do go back and listen to the old stuff before he started opening his mouth. But I can cut it off. I can cut Anheuser-Busch right off just like that. Screw you. No. Coors Light for me, buddy.
Well, that Coors Light, though, they're part of that Miller Lite.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to have to start drinking Yingling.
That's right. I forgot. Yep, you just said that.
You have to start drinking Yingling. That's what I've been drinking lately until they they come out with any woke policies, but I I don't see anything in the near future for them. But hey, who knows?
There's probably people out there in the audience saying, "Why don't you just quit drinking altogether?"
Well, that could be where I'm headed. You can't. Some of the things that I used to enjoy. And I look at these women's sports where these
Right.
companies are, Adidas and Nike are having trans people be one of their spokespeople for
Right.
their women's attire.
Yeah.
And all these colleges, that promote women's sports and this and what have you. Nike supports a lot of Nike has a lot of attire for them. Adidas has a lot of attire for them.
Right.
And they shouldn't be wearing that stuff.
No.
I mean, so there might be a chance where sports might be out for me.
Yeah.
I mean, the Dodgers, are having a drag night apparently coming up for their baseball team.
Yeah, I saw that.
That ought to be interesting.
Sickening. I tell you, it's gone woke. When you got the swimmer stepping up to the just won the 500 relay or whatever, stepping up to the microphone, they say, "How do you think you did today, Janet?" Well, I think I did pretty good. I come from behind there at the other end, but I caught my grip and I got going and I won. And that in that voice,
Well, I'd have probably been doing a lot better if this rudder I had hanging down wouldn't have, put a kiboshes on my swimming net.
Right. I sucked when I tried out for the men's swim team at Yale. I didn't make the team, but I joined the women's team and I made it. And now I won a trophy. He's like, okay, well, that's good for you, Monica. But otherwise,
Mark.
it's just yeah, Mark. But otherwise, our first show. Oh, hey, real quick, I just want to talk about this for about 1 minute. Bigfoot. Do you believe in? What's your thoughts on Bigfoot, Matt?
I gotta believe there's something out there. I mean, if there wasn't, I mean, I got a T-shirt that says, informing me of a Bigfoot sighting. So
well, there you go.
Why can't that be real too? I mean,
okay. Oh, okay. Next one. What about Elvis? Is he alive or is he dead?
I'm gonna say he's dead. Only because
I think so too.
I seen video of his performances at the end, and I gotta believe his heart just came out. I mean,
yeah, he put a lot of pressure on it.
The way he used to sweat in those video, those old clips we used to see, and they're at the end, I don't think he's around.
Right. Yeah. Okay. I agree with you on that one too. And last one, Michael Jackson. Is he dead or alive? Lots of rumors about he faked his death.
Yeah. And he probably should have faked his death with all the little kids that he was apparently, not convicted, but accused of molesting. So he may be out there. I mean, but he could have been that guy in the subway that's now dead too. The Marine killed him, or not. Well, didn't kill him, but he was protecting other people.
Yeah.
And he's not here anymore. But I mean, the Marine was just doing a service to all the other people that were scared with their lives.
Right. Yeah, the guy freaked out.
So maybe he is dead now.
There's probably a good chance he is. So, but all right. Well, hey, let's wrap her up for today. Our first podcast. We're a little rusty at it. We'll get more organized as we go. In the future, we plan on having maybe a couple guests pop in and via satellite to join us to give us an update on maybe sports, a 2-minute update in sports, what's going on with like the NBA playoffs, which I don't really care for. Maybe the fishing or the weather or whatever. We're going to try to have some people pop in here and there, and make it a little more interesting and keep your attention. And
absolutely.
I mean, as if Matt and I can't keep your attention alone, we're just going to give you added features of maybe somebody popping in and giving us an update on the latest news. So, but pay attention, hit the follow button, and share. And thanks for joining us on our first podcast. I'm Ted Davis.
Maturen, have a good one.
All right. Take care, everybody.